Welcome friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the previous video, we are discussing about the spillway, various storage and outlet works, uh, canal regulation works. Now, in this video, we are discussing about the cross drainage works. Many times we have to require to pass out the canal over the natural drain or over the our utility structures like pipelines, roadways, subways and railways. So we have to construct a cross drainage work to carry out the canal besides or the crossing the our structures. In this video, we are also discussing about the some of the design criteria of the cross drainage works. Now see in the picture is that there have been many conditions where the subway crossing the natural drain like a canal network crossing the natural drain. When the canals are overpass the natural drain, then bed level are same. There are the canal networks also flowing from them. Now there are the our syllabus, but in that some of the topics are not covered in the our syllabus, like barrel roof and the floor of the culvert that are covering in the our previous syllabus, but now that are removed from the part of our syllabus. Now in the cross drainage work, we are studying about the types, selection of suitable types of cross drainage works, aqueduct and the siphon. There may be different types of cross drainage works. Now, what is the cross drainage work? An irrigation project when the network of the main canal, branch canal distributaries are provided, and these canals may have to cross the natural drainage like river, stream, nala. It is different points within the command area of the project. The crossing of the canal with such obstacle cannot be avoided. So, suitable structure must be constructed at the crossing point for the easy flow of water of the canal and drainage in the respective directions. These structures are known as cross drainage works. Irrigation canals, while carrying water from headwards to crop field, have to cross few natural drainage stream, nala, etc. To cross this drainage safely by canals, some suitable structure required to construct work is required to cross drainage are called also cross drainage works, CDWS. At the meeting point of canal and the drainage bed level may not be same depending on their bed levels. Different structures are constructed and accordingly they are designed to by the different names. The names are mainly depend on the variation and the difference in the bed levels of the canal. Now, what are the necessity? Why you have to construct the cross drainage works? The waterside canal do not cross natural drain, but in actual orientation of the canal network, this ideal condition may not be available, and the obstacle like natural drainage may be present across canal. So the cross drainage works must be provided for running the irrigation system. At the crossing point, the water of the canal and the drainage get intermixed. So for the smooth running of the canal, which is the design discharge, the cross drainage works are required. The site condition and the cross points may be such that without any suitable structure, the water of the canal and drainage cannot be diverted to their natural direction. So the cross drainage works must be provided to maintain their natural direction of flow. Now there are the different types of cross drainage works. Why we have to require your understanding by seeing these pictures. That may be canal over the top of natural drain. Then bed level may be different. There are the also one type of canal over the canal below the natural drain. Now it may be different types of cross drainage work depending on that relative bed level or the relative crossover conditions. In that type 1 cross drainage works, when irrigation canal passes over the drainage, it is called siphon or siphon aqueduct and the simple aqueduct. There are the also two subtypes depending on the FSL and the HFL level of the our natural drain and the canal. In the type 2 drainage pass over the irrigation canal. There may be also two subtypes based on their HFL levels, super passage and siphon super passage. Next is the type 3. Next is the type 3 drainage and canal intersection at each other of the same level. It is called level crossing, inlet and outlet. This condition was especially not arise at any time, but that may be sometimes their bed level may be same. So we have to provide the inlet outlets and the level crossing. Now, how we can select the different types of cross drainage work? Mainly, there have been 3 to 5 factors affecting the selection of type of cross drainage works. First is the relative bed level. Based on that, we have select the various types of cross drainage work. I previously discussed that maybe types is depend on the relative bed levels. Availability of suitable foundation. What type of foundation that may be available? So based on that, we are selected that types of cross drainage work. Next is the economical consideration. Means that can give the maximum discharge with less time, less cost of construction. Discharge of drainage, how much amount of water are flowing through that and how can we safely pass out through them. Construction problems like availability of material, that may be flow of that natural drain, time of the flowing of that dam. That are the many factors when we are creating the constructions over the natural drains. Now, it may be we are first discussing about the type 1 irrigation canal passes over the natural drain. This condition involves the construction of following like aqueduct. Aqueduct is a simple structure, mainly any wherever we are seeing from the or passing from the road, we are seeing that some types of culvert has been made. In that condition, the canal is not pass over the uh, natural drain, but our road structure are pass over the natural drain. But that type of same structure is constructed in the aqueduct. The change is that the hydraulic structure in which the irrigation canal is taken over the drainage is called as aqueduct. This structure is suitable when the bed level of canal is above the highest flood level of drainage. There may be difference. We have to understand that when the bed level of canal is highest flood level of drainage. In case of natural streams, we are considering maximum flowing point of water is called HFL level, like highest flood level. And in case of canal, maximum point of depth of water flowing into the canal is called the HFL, FSL level, full supply level. So that may be difference between the two terms, HFL and FSL. In this case, the drainage water passes clearly below the canal. Now that may be FSL and that may be HFL. You can understand that are the maximum highest flood level in the natural drain and there are the bed level of canal. Bed level of canal are above the HFL of natural stream and that is the FSL of canal, full supply level, that is called canal bed level and that is called stream bed level. So this type of construction is called aqueduct. Main difference is that when the HFL of the natural stream are below the bed level of the canal, this type of structure is called aqueduct. Now see in the picture, that type of picture are given in your books. Like that is the HFL level. That may be piers, and KNR pass down from upstream to downstream. That is the inspection road, and there are the canal full supply level. Bed is above the HFL level of drainage. Now see, there are the canal and there are the natural stream. Natural stream are passing below the canal, and their HFL level we are seeing from here that there may be some of the mark that there may be HFL level or maximum HFL level may be here. So also that bed level is down to the natural stream. Next is the siphon aqueduct. In a hydraulic structure where canal take over drainage, but the drainage water cannot pass clearly below the canal. It flows under the siphonic action. So it is known as a siphon aqueduct. This structure is suitable when the bed level of canal is below the highest flood level. Next, see, in that case, the bed level of canal is lower than the HFL level, or in other words, we also said that the HFL of the natural stream are over the canal bed level. So, in that condition, we are constructing the siphon aqueduct. So, when the water are passing through that, there may be siphonic action created because no passage between the HFL level and the canal bed level. So, due to vicinity of the air or the atmospheric pressure, that flows is called siphonic flow, and this type of aqueduct is called siphon aqueduct. Now there are the HFL level and there are the FSL level and there are the canal. HFL level are flowing through that and they are moving through that and they are creating the siphonic action. That is called siphon aqueduct. Next is the super passage. This type of structure are constructing on the drainage pass over the irrigation canal. When the drainage passes over the irrigation canal, this type of structure is called super passage. The hydraulic structure in which drainage is taken over the irrigation canal is known as the super passage. The structure is suitable when the bed level of drainage is above the full supply level of canal. When the bed level of drainage in the previous term aqueduct, when the bed level of canal is above the HFL of drainage is called aqueduct, and when the bed level of drainage is above the full supply level of canal, maximum flowing water level of the canal is called full supply level of canal. The water of the canal passes clearly below the drainage. In that condition, the drainage are passing over through them, but when the FSL and stream bed level may have some clear gaps, so that flow are occur within presence of atmospheric pressure. So this type of construction is called super passage. See, that are the stream and that are the canal. Canal are passing through them. There may be some difference. There may be vicinity of air passing through them, and that HFL of stream. Stream means natural drain like river, lake, and nala. Next is the siphon super passage. There may be same construction. In that only change is that bed level is lower than the FSL of the canal. So that flow creates the siphonic action. See in the picture is that is the stream, that are the canal, and when the canal water are passes, that are flowing through that siphonic action. Next is the type 3 cross drainage types work. It is called drainage and canal intersect at level, other at same level, each other at the same level. When the bed level of canal and the stream are approximately the same and the quality of water in the canal and stream is not much different, the cross drainage work constructed is called level crossing. where the water level of canal and the stream is allowed to mix with the help of regulator. Both in the canal and the stream, water is dispersed through canal and the stream in required quantity. Level crossing consists the following components like crest wall, stream regulator, and canal regulator. See in the picture is that both the bed level are approximately same. Now that are the canal regulator, that are the river flowing through that is called river regulator, that are the crest wall. When the river are not flowing, then we are opening the canal regulator and canal flow are occurred. When the river are flowing, we are closing the canal gate and flow become a stop. And river regulator open, then the river are flowing. That are the crest wall. So that may be some create the pondage at the upstream side of drainage. Now next is the inlet and outlet. When a irrigation canal meets a small stream or a drain at the same level, drain is allowed to enter the canal it is as it in inlet. At some distance from this inlet point, a part of water allowed to drain as outlet, which eventually meets the original stream. Stone pitching requires at the inlet and outlet. So the bed and banks between the inlet and outlet also protected by stone pitching. This type of cross drainage work is called inlet and outlets. So that are the inlet and outlet types or that are the stream. So we have not to construct the level crossing. So we are allowing the stream water into the canal and that may be leading channel. We are diverting extra water into leading channel and surplus discharge are escape from them. So that are the inlet and outlet. Now, selection of types of cross drainage work. We have previously discussed 2 to 4 points, but now in detail we are discussing about the how can we select relative bed level. First point is relative bed level. According to the relative bed level of the canal and the river or drainage, the type of cross drainage works are generally selected, which has been discussed earlier. But some problems may come at the crossing point. The following points should be remembered while recommending the type of work. The crossing should be at the right angle to each other. Well-defined cross-section of the river or drainage should be available. At the crossing point, the drainage should be straight for the considerable length. The width or the drainage should be narrow as far as possible. Considering the above points, the cross section can be shifted to the downstream or the upstream. Availability of suitable foundation. For construction of cross drainage work, suitable foundation is required by boring test. If suitable foundation is not available, then the type of cross drainage work should be selected to site condition. Next is the economic consideration. The cost of construction of cross drainage work should be justified with respect to the project cost. Because if the larger stream are passing through them, so we have to construct the large type of cross drainage work and that cost may be comparable to the our benefit ratio. Discharge of drainage. Practically, the discharge of drainage is very uncertain in rainy season. So the structure should be carefully selected so that it may not be destroyed due to unexpected heavy discharge of the river or drainage. Construction of problems. Different types of constructional problems may arise at the site, such as the subsoil water, construction material, communication, availability of land. So, the type of work should be selected according to the site condition. Now, we have to determine the maximum flood discharge. See in the photograph is that when the our design discharge are not properly calculated, that are out of the our cross drainage works, like roadways are submerged in the flood water. So the high flood discharge for a smaller drain can be worked out by using some empirical formulas, and for the larger drain other methods such as hydrograph analysis and rational formula may be used. In general, method used in estimation of flood flow can be grouped as physical indications of past floods, empirical formulas and curves, and overland flow, hydrograph and unit hydrograph. Now, physical indications of past flood, flood marks and local inquiry. That may be some of the physical indications of flooding has been formed when the highest flood has been occurred. So based on that, we are deciding that the high flood that at that time occur, what are the water level of that point. So based on that, we are designing that type of discharge, but that method is only suitable for small scale type of cross drainage work. Now, there may be a simple judgment and logarithmic method. The rating curve can be extended by a simple judgment. So, see in the picture is that may be the depth of flow in meter versus discharge curve, and we can use the simple judgment by extending that curve from year to year. So the maximum discharge is finding and the depth of flow in water level is also we are find out. In that logarithmic method, there may be a formula q k d raised to n. K and n is equal to constant. So we have to find out the data of depth as per the our required discharge and put into the equation. We can find out the total discharge with respect to the flow. Now, based on that past flood analysis, we can put that data and we can extend the our curves and we can determine the maximum flood level. Another formula is equal to Q is equal to CA raised to N, where the CF is the coefficient and N is the index. Both C and depends upon the various factors. So that we should have to get the calibrated data of C and N values. We should have topographic area and the catchment area, and we have to find out the discharge. Based on discharge, we have to find out the depth. That are the Dykens formula. That may be a sum of the value of C for North India, Central India and Western Ghats. That is the developer's coefficient that is derived by its developer, and when we are putting the value into that formula and we can get the discharge. Next is the rational method is equal to Q is equal to 2.78 CIC to A. IC is the critical intensity of rainfall. That formula are using the intensity of rainfall, and that also be useful for calculation of maximum flood discharge. IC calculation formula is equal to P upon TR plus 1 upon TC plus 1. When the P is equal to maximum precipitation and TR is equal to storm period and TC is equal to time of concentration. So TC is equal to P upon TR. English formula also helpful for finding the, that may be lots of formula for finding the maximum flood discharge based on that different innovators and the different researchers that may be published in that research paper by calibrating with the past data, and we can use that formula Ali Nawab Jang Bahadur formula and English formula. That may be different researchers that are presented that formula in that research paper, and we can use this formula for calculating the discharge. That are the Mayer's formula 175 under root A. There may be some also assumptions and limitations of this formula. So when we are using this type of formula, we have to read all the assumptions and limitations of this formulas. Next is the envelope curves. That are the envelope curves has been designed previously for the northern and central Indian railways, peak flood discharge versus the drainage area. that may be designed based on the past data uses, and that gives the actual interrelations between the discharge versus drainage area. So that may be the drainage area, that may be a discharge. Overland hydrograph and unit hydrograph. For the particular case, we has also use the hydrograph analysis for calculating the maximum design discharge or the maximum discharge within the past 100 years. We are also knowing about the how unit hydrograph used for calculating the design discharge and the maximum flood. Now that are the unit hydrograph. We have to find out the peak and calculate the maximum flow. That are the base flow. We are also knowing about all the phenomena in the hydrology. So we can use this type of plotting graph like hydrograph, and we can find out the maximum discharge. Now there are another unit hydrograph theory. We also use the maximum flood discharge by using this theory also. Pluming of canal. Contraction of the waterway of the canal will reduce the length of barrel or the width of aqueduct. This is likely to produce economy in many cases. The pluming of canal is generally not done when the canal section is in a earthen bank. Maximum pluming is generally governed by the extent that the threshold remains subcritical, because if supercritical velocities are generated, then the transition back to the normal section on the downstream side of the work may involve the possibility of formation of hydraulic jump. These hydraulic jumps were not specially required and designed for would lead to undue loss of head and the large stresses on the work. The extent of pluming is further governed by economy and permissible loss of head. The greater is the pluming, the greater is the length of transition wings upstream as well as downstream. The extra cost of transition wings is balanced by the saving obtained due to reduction in the width of aqueduct. Hence, the economical balance has to be worked out for any proposed design. Now, that are the pluming of canal. Now there may be different types of methods for pluming of canal, like Mitra's method, Chaturvedi's method, and Hind's method. That may be also some of the suitable conditions. For Mitra's method, when the water depth remain constant, we can use. Chaturvedi's method is used when the depth remain constant, and Hind's method is used when the water depth may or may not vary. Now, as per Mitra's method, the bed width at any distance x from the fluent section is defined as Bn to Bf upon B into Lf upon Lf Bn minus Bf into x. That is the chief engineer of UP Irrigation Department, and that are proposed the hyperbolic transition for the design of channel transition. According to him, channel width at any section xx at the distance x from the fluent section is given. There are the R.S. Chaturvedi, that are also the head of the civil department in Roorkee University. That may also suggest that type of formula for designing that pluming canal section. And that are the different types of design bank conditions, and that are the design wing condition, and that are the uplift pressure on underside of the barrel roof, that are not covered in our syllabus, so we can skip that points. There are the exam questions that are very important for our purpose. You can note down that question, and we can use this question for upcoming examination. That are the important questions from these presentations. Thanks. I hope you are understanding the all the concept very well, and it will helpful for your examination and knowledge purpose. Thank you.